Starting an Etsy print on demand business is a great side hustle if you want to create a new income stream. But maybe you're in 2024 right now and you have a shop, but it's not getting any sales. So in today's video, I'm going to share with you 3 foundational steps I do every single time in my shop to help me get daily consistent sales. And if you stay to the end of the video, I'll share with you my bonus tip that has really allowed me to earn sales on Etsy. I'll share this all with you coming up next. So welcome back to the video, my friends. If you're new here, my name is Jay, and on this channel, I teach you how to make income online by creating and selling your own products. So if you like content like this, then consider subscribing to my channel. Now, being that we are selling a print-on-demand product in today's video, one of my main platforms to help me do this is Printify. Printify is my main source of creating all of my print-on-demand products. They take care of all the production and shipping out of my product, which really allows me to create this business to be as semi-passive as possible. And with Printify, a large category of print-on-demand products, there is a huge opportunity for me to sell multiple products on my shop. Now, if you want to check out Printify on your own, you can get started right now absolutely for free, but they were so kind to give my viewers a discount code to utilize your Printify premium version, which allows you to get every single product you sell at a major discount. I use this personally on my shop and it helps me save a ton of money, which allows me to earn more profit in the long run. Now, if you want to check this out on your own, I make sure to leave all the details down in my description box below for you to learn more about this product and to see if it is best for your print-on-demand business. So the first thing you want to make sure you do is that you are creating a list of best-selling products. These products are going to help you see what type of things are in demand, and these things will show you what people are more inclined to purchase. Usually when you look at best-selling products, people look at one item to determine what type of design they're going to create. But I want to encourage you to look at the multiple best-selling products within that niche and learn from the listing to determine what is the best route you can take to provide more value in that specific area. So an easy way to find best-selling products is just simply go into Etsy and look up a specific niche. In our case today, we'll look at grandma sweatshirts or grandma t-shirts. And when you look at the results, you can see Etsy's letting you know what type of products are in demand. You can notice by 3 things. Number 1, you can see the bestsellers badge here on the left-hand corner. You can actually go into the listing further and see that it has a red indicator letting us know this product is in demand. And to actually learn the sales history, you can go down further and look at the specific reviews for this listing. Now, Etsy will give you 2 reviews statuses, letting us know the reviews for the entire shop and the views for this specific listing. And if you have a large number of reviews, that lets us know this product has been purchased multiple times. Now, in my summation, it takes between 5 to 7 purchases for someone to leave at least 1 review. So we can do the math on this listing here and see the potential sales this product has earned. So again, if people are buying these products, then this is exactly what people are interested in, and I need to learn from the listing. Now, when we look over multiple products in this niche, then we'll be able to see what is actually selling well, and we can learn further from the listing to see what type of things we need to add to our product. So the point here is that whatever we do in regards to designs, finding keywords, creating great mockups, it needs to be led by these designs because we want our creation process to be led by data. So when we have these best-selling products, there are 3 things we need to learn from the listing in order for us to create a product that is high value and high quality. And the first one is this: we need to learn from the title to identify what is the micro niche audience that is being targeted. So an easy way to learn the micro niche from these best-selling products is look at the first line of the title. The first line of the title will let us know exactly what specific person, profession, occasion, season, or hobby that this specific listing is targeting. Remember, Etsy is a search-based platform. That means people are typing things in to see the results they want to find, and therefore they are purchasing those products. So we want to stay away from generalities when we have our listings like mom shirt or grandma shirt. We want to be specific, like flower mom shirt or custom personalized grandma flower shirt. These things are more micro niche, and it really helps us bring down that level of competition, but really focus on that buyer who is ready to purchase now. Now, when we look at the latter part of the title, we can learn some additional keywords that help support this micro niche. And we definitely want to learn from this area as well, because if we are creating multiple products in this niche, then most likely we're going to utilize these supportive keywords multiple times in our other listings. The only true thing that would change is the first line of the title, but all of these supportive terms are actually what people are typing in, therefore helping this product get seen, help this product get favorited, and help this product get purchased. So you definitely want to collect all these best-selling keywords here and learn from the listing of other best-selling products. Again, we're doing this over multiple products, and see some similarities in the keywords they use as supportive terms. As you can see here, these products all share the same person. They all share the same keyword in regards to who are they targeting. And we definitely want to be mindful of these things so we can add those keywords into our title as well as in our tags. But remember, that first line is actually what's going to lead that specific buyer to purchase your product. So think about the first line of the listing, and you definitely want to learn the micro niche audience they are targeting. Now, the second thing we want to learn from the listing is the design. Now, the design is going to actually be why people purchase this product. But when you look at the design, there's a couple of things you definitely want to learn from the listing to determine what things are trending and what things are actually in buyers' interest. So when I do my research, I try to look and see what font style is being used, what phrase, word, or sayings are being incorporated into the design, what is the color text being used on the shirt, and what is the key design element that is being used. Is it a heart? Is it a rainbow? Whatever it is, we definitely want to answer these questions so we can better learn from the listing. Now, again, we're doing this over multiple products, just not one design, but multiple designs, so that we can get a better understanding of what is doing well in this niche. And when you do this over multiple products, you then will find some commonalities and some trends that is actually being represented on all these best-selling products. Look at these products here, for example. They're both using retro style designs, and they both have similar font styles. Again, I can learn from that listing and incorporate that in my own unique way. Look at this product here. They're utilizing the same type of phrase in a different style, but yet we understand the phrase is actually what's driving this traffic. I can learn from this listing and incorporate that in my own unique way. Look at this product here. It is utilizing the same type of design element in a different way, but it's still being represented in this product here. This is what I mean by learning from the listing and answering these specific questions: what font is being used, phrase, color, text, key design element, so that I can incorporate that in my own unique way in my design. Remember, our goal here is to be led by data before we actually create a design, so we can have exactly what the buyer's interest in mind when we are creating this. Remember, we're not creating this for us. We're creating this for the buyer on the other side of Etsy who's ready to shop now. Now, when we do have a list of all of these questions answered, we definitely do not want to copy someone's design, because we don't want to be the third or fourth listing that has the same design. However, we can incorporate these design elements in these micro niches in a unique way to bring something that's not visible in this marketplace. So what I like to do is take a design element from this product and take a font style from this product and take a phrase from that product and combine these things together to create a new product that may not be represented in this micro niche. Remember, I don't want to just copy what's doing well. I want to incorporate what is doing well in my design and offer a new variable in this specific niche. Now, a little pro tip is that you can actually take all of these things that's doing well in this niche and look into a different niche where these things may not be represented. And if you find these things that's not being represented in other niches, this is a huge opportunity for you to make huge amounts of sales, because we have already done the data to understand what designs are doing well. So if people are purchasing thousands of products in this area, in this niche with these designs, and those design styles are not being represented in this niche, that's a huge opportunity for us to present a new variable in this marketplace of things we know that are already doing well. Now, the last thing we can learn from the listing is the mock-up photos. This is so huge because people are more inclined to purchase with their eyes before they purchase with their mind, right? Before they get to your description and learn more from what you offer, they are first intrigued by the photo that you have represented as your thumbnail image. So what I like to do is look at the thumbnail image of these best-selling products and learn what are they doing well to earn that first click. And a couple of things I look at and try to determine is what mock-up photo is being used. In other words, are they using a real model to represent their design, or are they using a flat lay? I also try to figure out, about if they have any text on screen to help communicate value points to the customer. Again, they talk about shipping time. Do they talk about a sale that's happening? Do they talk about multiple sizes or colors being offered? These are the things that are earning the clicks for these products and therefore helping them get sales. So I need to learn from the listing, how are they utilizing their mock-up photos? Now, one of the other key points here when we are learning from the mock-up photo is look at the first thumbnail image and see what color product is being represented. Most likely, if a product is getting a lot of clicks, a lot of sales, then there's something about that product color that is intriguing the shopper. Some of the top mock-up colors I've found to work well, just not in my shop, but in other shops, is dark heather gray. It is that soft cream color, and it is the heather mauve. Now, when we're talking about different seasons, sometimes these color t-shirts may change. For instance, if we're talking about the Valentine's Day season, then obviously the dark heather gray may not necessarily be the best color product to showcase. However, if you look at this niche or this season, you will see that the color white and the color pink is most likely being used in these product photos. So with seasons, those colors might change. For instance, like Christmas, the colors that might be represented on best-selling products might be white, it might be pink, it might even be red. So we have to learn from the listing to determine what mock-up photo and what product color I need to use that's best representing my design. Now, with these best-selling products, we can go further into the mock-up photos to learn what are they showcasing in their line of photos. Etsy gives us 10 slots to communicate value to our customers, and we definitely want to see what best-selling products are communicating so we can do the same thing. And what I find with best-selling products that they're definitely showcasing this product in different ways. They're utilizing sometimes multiple forms of mock-ups like flat lays and real models. They're communicating their shipping time, their processing time. They're communicating different type of shirts being offered, even the design being changed, and they're communicating their policy regarding returns and guarantees. Again, you have to go further into the listing to see what are they saying in their photos, because again, people are more inclined to purchase with their eyes before they purchase with their mind. And if you can't earn them with the first initial click, they're not going to look at your description to see what you truly offer. Now, when you look at all these best-selling products and you learn from the listings in these three areas, you will then learn what is actually selling well, so that when you sit to design your product, you are designing based upon data and not based upon personal interests. Again, Etsy is a search engine platform. That means people already have in mind what they want to purchase, but they want to see something represented by their interests. And when you're learning from multiple best-selling products, again, just not one, but hundreds of best-selling products in your time of selling on Etsy, you will then begin to learn what people like, what people don't like, what niches are representing these best-selling designs and which ones are not. And therefore, you would truly find there's a huge opportunity for you to really scale well with your Etsy shop. Now, if you stay to the end of the video, my last bonus tip I can give you if you are struggling with making sales this year is to run daily sales. Here's my overall theme. If you want daily sales, you need to have daily sales in your shop. And all you have to do is go into Etsy to the market area here and actually turn on a daily sale. You can put in the percentage amount if you want, but the point here is that you want to make sure that the sale is ran from today and it ends today, right? It starts today and it ends today. And this will allow you to have multiple things happen on your shop. Number one, you get a little badge letting people know you have a sale, but then you also get a timer on your listing so people can see that the sale will end today. This timer is just not shown on the listing, but this timer can also be found at checkout, which can further push the shopper to purchase your product. And Etsy also gives little pop-up notifications for items that are running a sale, which again further helps your item be purchased. So again, following all these best practices will help you not just start your Etsy shop well, but truly gain some sales and scale your products in 2024. Now, if you are new to selling products on Etsy, or maybe you have not even started your Etsy shop, I have a full tutorial down below teaching you exactly how to start and scale your Etsy shop. I go over every single step you need to take to actually start a successful Etsy shop. If you want to check out that video, then check out my link down below that will take you to that free training. And if you want to learn more about how to make income online, then consider subscribing to my channel as well. As always, my friends, my name is Jay, and I will see you in the next video.